Smiling. All right, guys. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Elevated Marketing Podcast, where we simplify complicated digital marketing topics to make your business grow. Brenna and I are wearing versions of a brand color that we had for a little while, and we simplified and we're like, no, we want more soft colors and we want more nature colors and we don't want hot pink.
Hot pink wasn't exactly calming.
No, it wasn't doing it for us. So, okay, we're going to talk about this is going to be a different type of show. Facebook ads targeting has shifted majorly, and there's things you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were just saying, we're going back to an alert, which we did here for a little bit, and we kind of dropped that segment. But this is, I feel like, some major stuff that's kind of happening and we need to talk about, right?
It is. And I mean, I think we as marketers have to confirm this news because Meta may have gone back on their word a little bit, but I know we'll get to that.
Yeah. Things are just happening so darn fast.
Yep.
But what Brenna and I know is good marketing 101, like what works when we're trying to sell stuff to people. So let's do our fun and quirky because we're all humans. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
I would like to talk to animals. I already have conversations with my cats. I'm just not sure how much they comprehend. And I would love to actually be able to talk to my cats and know what they're thinking. Maybe I don't. Maybe they are bashing me and I just don't know, but I don't know.
Well, Jennifer likes to have these complicated conversations, and I think that's why my intro is the way it is. It's just all coming back to me. And I want to talk to coders. I want to talk to the people writing the algorithms, and that is a language.
It is.
So it is a language of the internet right now, and I want to talk to them. And I want to have conversations about where we're going in this world.
Yeah. No, more importantly, when.
Yeah.
We're going there.
When. Maybe that's my control issues then. I need to be in charge. I want to talk to the smart people. I want to be in the room. I want to be the dumbest one in the room. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like we got a timeline a little bit here.
Yeah.
And we're going to give credit where credit's deserved. Social Media Examiner, and we're going to bring up John Loomer. These are some of my favorite people. Michael Stelzner is super smart. I follow him a lot. I follow John Loomer. He keeps it real, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and I love ads. So those are all together, and we're talking about Facebook ads. And things have changed per usual. But this one's a pretty big change. We went through this period where you could choose some really specific information on people, and not everybody understood that. And I'm pretty sure we have an episode on picking cold audiences and warm audiences and how you could go through this process. And then iOS 14 happened and attribution loss happened.
Mm-hmm.
But what also happened at the same time was we started losing the ability for some audiences, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then what was happening over in TikTok?
The algorithm pretty much rocked the world of social media, and you're seeing content from people you've never seen before, but you've seen content that's relevant and similar to what you're engaging with.
Yep.
And Yeah.
That started happening in the organic world. Like,
Yeah.
followers didn't matter anymore. And, that we talked about that a couple shows.
Mhm.
And then, Facebook by default started to remove some of the targeting that was available, and automatically started showing you Advantage plus audience and Advantage plus shopping. So we're over in the ad world, and it's like, okay, like, it was more open, and the audiences were based on your pixel and conversion data. So what does that mean, Brenna? I know I'm throwing you a data question, but you got it.
Yeah. Well, I can. If you don't have your pixel set up, then these audiences that are supposed to be automatically being found are not going to happen. Your pixel is where you start always with, Facebook ads.
Well, that's where we start with all of our data. Like, we
Yeah.
got to have like good data, and Facebook is saying the same thing. You've got to
Mhm.
have good data. So if you're brand new into running ads and you don't have that pixel, or you haven't set up what your desired actions of the website are,
Mhm.
conversions. So you haven't said, hey, this is what I want to track, which there's all kinds of stuff to track, which
Yeah.
with events is what they call them in there. Let's be confusing. And Google Analytics now wants to call it key events. So maybe we're trying to get on the same page.
Maybe. I don't know.
We just like to make things complicated.
Always.
You need someone to decode all of this information for you. I even love like the loss of control. Yep. So what if you don't have control, Brenna, and you're putting your ads out in front of like a small audience? So you're a local advertiser, and we're going back like 20 years, and you're putting stuff out there. How do you attract the people that you want to attract?
Your creative is heavily relied on. You have to have good creative. You have to have good content to go with that creative.
Yep.
It's very important.
You're messaging, you're talking to those people, and we're just like, we're going back in history to the way that it was before, but the machines are the internet, and the social media platforms are deciding where to put your content. So now we're wrapping back to organic social media, right?
Yep.
And they're deciding where to put your content based on what you have interacted with already. And so they're going to do the same thing with
Ads. It makes sense.
ads. So it's going to go across the board. You're going to be able to give it like suggestions of who might be good, but they're by default kind of, you can, let me clarify, at the moment, take off the automatic default that this is who you want it in front of, and you can say, okay, yeah, exactly, put it in there. But are you smarter than a machine? Sometimes.
From the meta machine?
It depends on the input, gives you the output,
Yeah.
which goes back to the conversion, goes back to the pixel.
Well, and it makes me wonder, what different data points are we going to see with this? Because they're not going to, I have a hard time believing we're going to have to pay attention to the same metrics to see how our ads are performing in front of these audiences. I have a feeling Meta is going to want to maybe buff up what they're doing and make it look as good as possible with these changes. You know what I
We got
mean?
to keep them honest. We got to keep all these platforms honest, because they want us to buy ads, and that pays the bills. And so you're right. I've always said that. Like, you've got to have like multiple data sources, and you have to triangulate the data. That I've said that on many shows with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was like something released that was on accident
Mhm.
that they were going to completely get rid of detailed targeting going away. But I don't buy it. John Loomer doesn't buy it. Brenna doesn't buy it.
Right.
Like it
Well,
now, it's a cover up.
yeah, I mean, you have to read between the lines on what they said. And there they say there are no immediate changes. So they're
Yeah,
telling us changes are happening, just not when.
yeah. Gosh. So it's going to happen, and then
Mhm.
everybody else has to kind of catch up, which makes Brenna really excited because Brenna loves creative and messaging,
Yes.
and we're coming back to where Brenna's
Yeah.
happy, but Jennifer's going to be happy too because there's going to be like new metrics to look at and different things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all it all goes back to engagement. I think on so many platforms we've been going toward engagement for so long now, and with good creative you can attract a lot of engagement.
Yep, and the right content and the
Yeah.
algorithms are working that way. So, like the days of just like putting something out there and hoping that, you got to be good. You
Mhm.
got to be good. You have to have like good content that people actually want to listen to or read or watch or look at, which was the same thing in radio and
Mhm.
TV, and but the production time of all this stuff has like it's been 5 minutes. Is
Yeah.
it like do you like it? Like,
Yeah.
or like we're putting out like 15-second pieces of content on TikTok and being like, yes, did they make a buying decision off of that?
Right. I know you have, yeah, it's
But the consumer doesn't buy that way.
no, and it just like clicked your website and where you're landing. It's always been important, but I think more so now because a lot of these people, you're not going to have, you will have an audience that's familiar with you, but not like we have it today, you know?
No, no. Like you're going to catch their attention and they're going to scroll and they're going to look at it.
Yeah.
But like it takes a lot more effort to get somebody then Google you and go look and get more information. If you're selling a widget or a dress or something like that, then okay, you could probably get people to whip out their credit card and buy stuff that they don't need. But if
Yeah.
you have a complicated sale,
Mhm.
it's still going to take time and people are still going to think about like what they're doing.
Yeah.
um Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a change to like play down at all. Like I think it's going to bring a lot of changes.
It's tied to AI in a lot
Yeah.
of ways, like
Oh,
it's
sure.
yeah, so it's just staying up to date. I mean, you
Mhm.
you put in caps on our show notes, good content is crucial.
It is. I mean, and we've always said that it's important, and it
Yeah,
is. It always has been, but
yeah,
we're moving in a direction that you have so much limited time and
yeah.
even limited information about these people who's seeing your content. Like, it has to be good. Pick it
Yeah.
up.
So, I mean, we were talking about Facebook ads, but it's all tied together. Just like we've said before, it's not the
Mhm.
last beer you drink in marketing, it's all the beers.
Yep.
And it's the same way. It was just we were specifically going into Facebook ads, but if you pull it out, you're like, oh, all right, this all goes together. So it's
Yeah.
kind of nice. Like we're all just kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Quality over quantity, like quality marketing agencies over quantity of marketing agencies. I mean,
Mhm. Yep.
I don't know. Hopefully you like this podcast and you rate and review the podcast. You follow our newsletter because there's 35,000 other people or 39,000. What are we at? I don't know. Something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
think we're about to hit 40.
40,000 people.
Mhm.
So hopefully we're saying stuff that is helpful. Follow us on any of the social medias. Any last minute thoughts, Brenna?
Yeah, I think this is just let this be a reminder that marketing moves fast and you have to stay up to date, because if you don't, I mean, your strategies will be a thing in the past and you have to move with the flow of marketing.
Yeah, this is why I hang out with Brenna, because she's half my age and, she's a smart cookie though.
No, I learned from the best.
All right. Take care.